There's a drug in Brazil that doesn't just knock you out, it turns you into a willing victim. That's not a rumor. It's real. It's called Boa Noite Cinderela. And one night, it found me. Imagine waking up bleeding on the rocks at Ipanema Beach, with no memory of how you got there. If you travel anywhere in Latin America, listen closely. This isn't just a story. This is a survival guide. Before we dive into this nightmare, hit subscribe and share this with a friend who travels. What you're about to hear might literally save someone's life. My name is Arvin. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I've traveled all over South America, Ecuador, Argentina, Peru, Colombia, but nothing prepared me for what happened in Rio. This is how 4 women drugged me, robbed my Airbnb, drained my digital wallets, stole over $49,000, and almost left me dead at the edge of the ocean. And it all started long before that night. 13 years earlier, I went to Brazil for the first time. I was a university kid on a study trip. Professors, group rules, safety briefings, curfews. We moved in packs. We didn't carry phones or cash. We were warned every day about danger, and almost nothing happened. A couple of sketchy moments, sure. A hand in the pocket here, a weird interaction there. But overall, it felt controlled, safe. So the story I carried in my head was simple. Brazil is dangerous, but if you're smart, you'll be fine. Fast forward 13 years. I'm older. I've become an adventure traveler and content creator. I film, I edit, I tell stories from the road. And somewhere in the back of my mind, Brazil is still calling me. This time, I don't want the student version. I want the real thing. I invite a friend of mine. Let's call him Paul. He speaks Portuguese. He's smart. He knows how to move in tricky situations. Another friend, Andres from Rio, plans to meet us later. The route is simple. São Paulo, Paraty, Ilha Grande, and finally, Rio de Janeiro. At the beginning, everything is perfect. We land in São Paulo, we pick up a rental jeep, we stop at a basilica, try real acai, eat street food, film everything. Nights walking around, police in the streets. Nothing feels too crazy, and this is where the first hook of the story comes in. When nothing bad happens for a while, your brain starts lying to you. It says, "See, people exaggerate, you're careful, you got this." Would you have felt the same? Would you have relaxed? Or stayed on edge? By the time we reach Rio, we're confident. Maybe too confident. We stay at a friend's place for a bit, then rent an Airbnb in Ipanema. 2 bedrooms, modern building, security gate, garage, balcony with a slice of the ocean. I unpack like I'm moving in. iPhone, MacBook, drones, cameras, lenses, GoPro, hard drives. My entire digital life spread across one apartment. Inside that place, I don't feel like a tourist in a dangerous city. I feel like I'm in a safe bubble with a nice view. That bubble is about to pop. On Monday night, we decide to go to Pedro do Sal. If you've never heard of it, Pedro do Sal is a Monday night samba street party in Rio. Historic steps, live music, drums that shake your ribs, people shoulder to shoulder in narrow alleys. It's one of those real Rio experiences everybody talks about. Police are on the corners, vendors are selling drinks, tourists are filming everything. It feels wild, but not wrong. That night, I'm actually not drinking. I'm the designated driver. Paul and Andres have a few drinks, but we're not out of control. We talk, we film, we soak in the music, and then, slowly, we drift apart in the crowd. I lose sight of Andres. I can't see Paul. My phone starts coming out more as I try to coordinate. For about 20 minutes, I'm weaving through people, checking my phone, looking up, looking down. And this is one of those key moments. You're distracted. You're looking at your screen instead of what's happening around you. And somewhere, someone is watching you. Finally, I spot Paul. He's not alone. He's standing with 4 women. They're close, laughing, touching his arm, talking fast in Portuguese. When I walk up, they glance at me and just fold me into the scene like I've been there the whole time. They don't speak English. I barely speak Portuguese. So Paul is stuck in the middle, translating, guessing. We're answering questions. Where are you from? How long are you in Rio? Where are you staying? They giggle at our accents. They lean in close. From the outside, it looks like three guys just got really lucky at a samba party. But let me pause here. If you were me at that moment, what would you have done? Smile and go with the flow, or cut it off and walk away? Because the next decision I made cost me $49,000. At some point, one of them says something like, "We'll come with you." Not a shy suggestion, not a question, more like a decision announced. They want to get in the car with us. They want to go back to our Airbnb in Ipanema. My instincts whisper, "This is a bad idea." The music, the energy, the good vibes all shout back, "Relax, you're with friends. What's the worst that could happen?" I listen to the wrong voice. Back at the apartment, everything starts moving fast. Shoes come off. They're laughing, exploring the place, talking over each other. One heads straight for the kitchen, another opens the fridge. Someone grabs cups, someone else finds the beer and Red Bulls. They're too comfortable. Looking back, that's another red flag. Have you ever watched somebody move around your place like they've already been there before? They open bottles. Drinks start getting poured. There's music playing. Everyone's talking. I'm not really focused on the drinks. I'm thinking about the night, the trip, the content, the next day's plans. A cup ends up in my hand. I take a sip. Nothing tastes wrong. But within minutes, something feels wrong. My head gets heavy in a way that doesn't match what I drank. My thoughts slow down. My body feels slightly disconnected, like I'm watching myself from behind. Sounds blur. The room feels tilted. When I try to stand, my legs don't fully respond. I tell myself, "You're just tired. Long day. You'll be fine." But I'm not fine. This is the part where Boa Noite Cinderela really kicks in. The last things I remember, reaching for the edge of the table, seeing one of them near the bedroom door, trying to say, "Something's wrong." Then the film just cuts to black. No dreams, no noise, just nothing. When I open my eyes again, I hear Paul's voice. "Arvin, wake up, man. Wake up." My skull feels packed with sand. My tongue doesn't work right. My body is lead. I'm on the bed. The room tilts in slow, jerky motions. Paul is standing over me, eyes wide. Everything's gone. They took everything. At first, I don't understand. "What do you mean?" He starts listing. "Your phone, your MacBook, the drone, the GoPros, the lenses, the watch, some of my stuff. Bro, they cleaned us out." I look around. Where there were cameras, there's empty space. Where my laptop sat, there's just dust. My bag is lighter. Drawers are closed. Nothing is smashed. Nothing is ripped apart. It's not chaos. It's precision. And then it hits me. My phone was unlocked. While I was stumbling, fading, passing out, they had my device in their hands. My bank apps, my email, my Apple Pay, my crypto, my notes, my passwords. Everything. If you think getting robbed means losing whatever's in your pockets, you're thinking 10 years behind. Today, getting robbed means someone gets your unlocked phone. From here, my memory breaks again. I remember saying, "I'm hungry, let's eat, then we'll fix it," which shows you just how drugged I still was. We left the apartment. We went to a beach bar. I remember a table, and then nothing. Later, people told me I couldn't pay my bill. The staff got mad. Voices were raised. I panicked. They said I ran toward the far end of the beach, toward the rocks, high, jagged rocks overlooking the water. They said I jumped. I do not remember that jump. The next thing I remember is opening my eyes under fluorescent lights, hospital ceiling, beeping, sand on my arms, dried blood on my shirt, a doctor standing over me. He looks at me and says, "You were drugged, probably Rohypnol. You're lucky to be alive." If you're hearing this and thinking, "What exactly is that?" you need to know. Rohypnol is the brand name for flunitrazepam. It's a very strong benzodiazepine, same family as Xanax or Valium, but way more powerful. In Brazil, when they use this kind of stuff to rob you, they call it Boa Noite Cinderela. Good night, Cinderella. Mixed into your drink, it can make you drowsy very fast, slow your thinking, make it hard to move or speak, keep you semi-awake but confused, and wipe your memory of what happened. That's why victims say, "I remember the drink, and then the hospital. I remember her in the kitchen, and then nothing." You become a walking target. You can still unlock your phone. You can still talk. You can hand over your code. You can wander out of a bar and jump off rocks. And remember none of it. While I was in that state, those 4 women, and whoever they work with, went through everything. By the time we checked my accounts, almost $49,000 had been moved, charged, or spent. Zelle transfers, Apple Pay purchases, card transactions, possibly crypto access. If you've been watching this far, let me ask you, how much of your life runs through your phone right now? And what would happen if someone had full access to it for just 1 hour? Paul and Andres found me by asking around the beach kiosks. "Have you seen a guy?" Someone said, "The ambulance took him." They followed the trail to the hospital, picked me up, and we went to what was left of the Airbnb. Then we went to the tourist police. I expected a shrug and a piece of paper. Instead, I saw something else in their faces: familiarity. They'd heard this story before, many times. They told us, "This happens every week." Groups of women, working with organized networks, targeting foreigners in party areas, following them home, drugging them in the apartment, draining their digital life first, then stealing everything of value in the room. They took our statement, asked for details. Later, they even emailed photos of suspects planning a raid. They told us to be ready near the phone in case they needed confirmation when they moved in. That night, there was a soccer game. The operation was postponed. Only in Brazil. Back in Dallas, the cleanup was long, calling banks, disputing transfers, canceling cards, sending police reports, sitting on hold, retelling the same story. I was drugged. I didn't send those transfers. I didn't make those purchases. Some banks helped, some pushed back, some money was protected, some wasn't. Insurance replaced part of the gear. But there's no insurance for the feeling of knowing someone smiled at you, poured something into your drink, and watched you slowly shut down. Of knowing strangers walked through your private space, touched your things, opened your apps, used your name, your face, your phone to empty your life. Of knowing you almost died in a place you barely remember being. If you were me, would you tell this story publicly, or would you hide it and pretend it never happened? I chose to tell it, because if this can happen to me, someone who's traveled, someone who thought he knew the risks, it can happen to anyone. So here's what I want you to take from this. Never bring strangers back to your Airbnb. The real crime scenes aren't always clubs, they're apartments. Don't let anyone help you with your drink. If you walk away from it, it's no longer your drink. Treat your phone like a loaded wallet. Lock your banking apps twice. Disable Apple Pay when you go out. Use a travel account with limited funds. And remember this: the most dangerous moment isn't when you walk down a dark street. It's when you start to think, nothing's happened so far. I'm safe. That's where I was. That's how they got me. If this story helped you or opened your eyes, don't just click away. Hit subscribe, drop a comment, and share this with someone who travels, especially someone talking about Brazil, Rio, or living it up in Latin America. Your story might save a life. Mine almost ended before I could tell it. If this video helped you or opened your eyes to something you didn't know, hit that like button and subscribe so YouTube shows this to more travelers who need to see it. Thanks for watching, and be careful out there.